If you want to see how I made this bar for Barbie, please keep on watching. Before I forget to remind you, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. So we're gonna get started. I'm not gonna talk too much throughout this. I'm making some supports for the bar, and I'm just showing you how I'm making the last support. As you can see, I already have 4 supports there. And I basically just used some scraps of wood. I really didn't purchase anything. I usually don't. I happen to have a lot of materials either from my old projects from years ago, my sister who's an architect, or just scrap material that I've collected over the years. So I typically don't do a lot of big purchases for my projects. So yeah, I'm just, that's the bottom part is a popsicle stick. And I am connecting these, these wooden beams. I'm connecting them to be 6 inches tall. I'm using paperboard here. This is a really firm, nice and thick paperboard. I'm just sanding it down. And I had figured out the shape that I wanted, drew it out. I find that most of my projects, no matter what they are, if it's sewing or constructing, or I am always drawing something. So I always start with a plan to draw. I wanted to remove all the dust from my work area after sanding, and I'm gonna get started on putting all the supports onto the bar top. And I just made sure that I sanded the top of all the supports before I added the glue. I wanted a nice porous environment, and although wood is already porous, I just wanted to make it nice, and I wanted to sand it right before gluing. Something that I always like to do when I'm working for a specific scale is to use the doll that I'm going to be using in the scale to make sure that everything is the right height before I move any further with the project. And so far, Barbie looks like she's at a good height with the bar, so I feel comfortable moving forward. Again, like I told you, I'm always figuring out a way to draw something. And so here I just want to make a pattern piece of the top of the bar so that I can use it for the next part of this project, which is creating the marble top. So I couldn't find like a piece of paper that was big enough, so I just took this envelope and I'm just cutting it down to size. It was pretty exact, so just be careful of the corners if you have the same situation like myself. And the bar is about 6 inches high, and that's pretty fair. For the Barbie scale, so it's pretty typical. And then with the marble top, it's going to be even a little bit higher. So my pattern piece fits the top perfectly. I'm using this shelf that my mom had left over. It's really flat and easy to clean and hard, and I just wanted to use that for the clay. I'm using Das's air dry clay, and I love using it in this color because oh, and I have some water there because I'm going to create some glue for us. But yeah, I just love to get the clay in this color, because if I want to do pottery, I don't have to paint it. But if I want to paint it, this clay is very easy to paint. The technical term for the glue that I'm making with water and clay is called slip. I almost forgot to remove this piece. I should have done it before I put the supports. Don't make the same mistake I made. Make sure that all the design is done before you put the supports in. Slip is really great for softening whatever areas of the clay have gotten hard. Since this is air dry clay, I don't have to put this in the oven or anything like that. It just dries over time. And depending on how thick the project is, it'll dry faster or slower. And the slip also works as glue to adhere other pieces of clay to the clay. And so that works out really great. And what we're doing is we're going to create the top, the marble top of the counter. And this is a lot of fun. This video is going to be 2 parts, because the first part is just doing all of this. The second part is going to be doing the shelving and all the other stuff for the bar, and then also painting it, which is going to be left for last. I cannot wait. So I'm just adding extra parts to the clay to make it long enough so that it can fit the pattern piece, and then we can cut the pattern out from the clay. While I was working on taking this out, the clay got a little bit hard, so I am just giving it some moisture so that it can hold on tight, because I still have to put some more stuff on the bar. Yeah, I have to put the skins, the face on the bar. So I'm gonna clean up my area and get right to it. Now we can take our clay. It's kind of hardened a little bit, which is what I wanted. I didn't want it to be completely hard because I still want to form it a little bit, but I wanted it to harden just a little so that I can place it on top without it getting completely ruined. If you are having experience with cracks in your clay, just add a little slip, which is, I guess, 3 parts clay, 1 part water, or something, that type of ratio, or 2 parts clay, 1 part water, I really wouldn't know. Just make sure that the consistency feels kind of like pancake batter. And yeah, if you experience that, I ended up still having a little bit of cracks, but I have a feeling that they're not going to show since I'm making marble, and I'm going to be using a lot of paint and sealant. I'm not sure what the protocol is on hot glue and clay. I didn't do any research on the matter. I know that in the past I've used it and it's always been fine. But I don't know if people are opposed to it. I figured that because the clay was semi-hardened, it would take nicely. I don't know. I have no idea what the it's silicone and clay. I have no idea. I just know that for me it worked, and yeah. So just letting you guys know that this is I don't know what the protocol is. I don't know if this is wrong in the eyes of clay masters, but yeah, this is, I just made do. There's a lot of cleaning up of my area just because it could get very messy and you don't want it to be messy permanently. So you just kind of want to keep cleaning up your area. Let's get to this slip. And I'm really going to need slip right now as glue because I'm going to round out the corner of the bar. And I was going to use wooden dowels to do that, but I didn't want to because I think it would be a little more complicated. And even though this has its complexity as well, I feel like this is going to be so much cleaner, and it's gonna come out. I actually like the way that it turned out. So I wanted rounded out corners for the bar instead of straight edge corners, and so now I'm just going to be measuring it out and rolling it out to create just that. Sorry, I don't know why I keep saying corners. I mean edges. I wanted the edges to be rounded out. That's what I meant. It's actually fascinating to me how slip really does work as glue, and a little bit goes such a long way. I made sure to put it gently on there. I didn't want to like smooth out the slip too much. I just kind of wanted to dab it on so that it stayed kind of thick. But such a little bit goes such a long way, and it really does adhere. Once you press down on it, it just like all adheres together. And it takes a while for it to dry, so I had plenty of time to get it all in there. And I'm so happy with how this turned out. I really am. Are there mistakes? Aren't there always? I don't have any perfect projects, not yet. And I don't know if I ever will, but I really do love my pieces. So I'm adding some slip up on top as well. And now I'm just going to be using my fingers. If you guys have clay tools, then obviously use some of those tools. I feel like my fingers are my favorite tool. But I am also going to use a marker later to kind of smooth out everything as best as I could. I cannot lie, this Crayola marker really did everything that I needed it to do. It was exactly what I needed, and so I'm really happy with the results. And I'm going to be using the marker often when using clay. So yeah, the sky is the limit with clay, and I've even made dolls in the past with clay. It's really a great medium. It's a lot of fun, super flexible, and there's just so much you can do. Don't limit yourself as to what you try and experiment with clay. But yeah, I wanted to get a nice fancy bar for Barbie. And so, like I said, this is the first part of the video. I'm just kind of showing you the basic structure of everything. The top of the bar will eventually be painted in marble. And that's going to be fun because I think I'm going to do the pour method. So I'm excited about that. I have to create some shelving and some glass, and I'll also be putting glass on top of the bar as well, some clear glass, just to give it that bar feel. So as you can see, I really do not suspect that my crack, I did have like 1 or 2 cracks in the end. I don't suspect that my cracks are going to show. So here I'm just smoothing out the ends, the edges with my finger and using the marker to kind of level it out as best as as best as my eye could catch, and as best as I was willing to work on it, or as much as I was willing to work on it. So I keep on smoothing it and trying to see how I can make it better. Now, it's crazy. This little clay knife tool that you're seeing here, I have that for over 20 years. It's probably the only clay tool that I own. And so I'm just using it to cut off all of the clay that is excessive at the bottom, because I don't want that at all. And yeah, so I keep straightening it and rounding it out, straightening it and rounding it out to see if I can get a nice even feel for it. If you guys have better ideas and tips, tricks that you guys use, please feel free to comment. I want to learn as much as possible, so that's definitely something that you should feel free to do. And there you have it. I had a lot of fun. I always do. I hope that you guys try this. I'm sure that some of you will come out with much better results. I still have a lot of supports and things that I have to do to the inner part of the bar, the outer part of the bar. There's painting that goes on to the wood. I have to add some more pieces to it for decor and for just that whole vintage effect that I want to achieve for it. But this is the base foundation of the bar. There's the cracks that I was telling you guys about, but I think they'll be fine. It hardened nicely. It's permanent on there, and I'm super excited about it. I hope that you guys continue to watch my videos. I hope you enjoyed this one. Please don't forget to comment, share my video, share my channel, like, subscribe, click the bell notification. I mean, there's so many things that I'm asking you guys to do, but it's all in the spirit of helping my channel and helping me stay afloat so that I can keep on creating more videos. The YouTube partnership program is amazing. I'm so grateful to be a part of it, and I want to continue using this platform to share my tutorials and to create an income for myself so that I can continue doing this because I love it. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you guys next week. Peace.